All right, guys, welcome to Results Driven by RW. Of course, I am RW. I'm excited tonight to bring some more exciting things that can help you to grow and build your business, but realizing that you are the business. You are the one that if you're not good, then ain't nothing good. As old saying, if mama ain't good, ain't nobody good, but really it more so centers around you. And I think a lot of times we take for granted that we are the catalyst. And now, how many people, just by show of hands, real quick, or by putting in the text there, or you are the first in your family. In other words, you are the one. You are the one. You are the one that everybody leans on, everybody counts on. When it comes down to it, they got a whole bunch of folk that they know until they need something. And then once they need something, then they know that you the one's gonna come through and make everything happen. Do I have anybody tonight that has been put in that position to where now you're the one? And you have to realize I gotta do a lesson on that. You are the one. Because if you don't recognize that by now, you'll fight against it. And sometimes your false humility will let you say, oh no, it's not me. No, it's you. You're the one that's been chosen for such a time as this to go forth and change the literally direction of your whole family. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to jump into our presentation on tonight. And I am super excited about having one of my guys on. He's going to help us out tonight, I believe, to get us to where we want to be. Of course, let me go start with, of course, I want you guys to take some notes tonight. This is going to be really, really deep, really, really interesting, and enough to really make you grow tonight, I believe, not just in your business, but in your personal life. Because I promise you, if you're not growing personally, your business is not growing as much as you think it is. Camera on if you can. I know some of you guys are moving and grooving. I don't know why Dominique's camera is not on. I saw her, it looked like she had her hair done for a change. I'm just throwing it out there. And I'm messing with Dominique. But I'm excited about you guys being on. So if I can see your beautiful face, I know Sharia is working. I think always working. She out there making that money, got her hustle hands on, doing her thing, them feet and them hands. But if you can, put your cameras on. I'd love to see your beautiful face. Ask questions, guys. Definitely. My chat. Matter of fact, do me a favor, open up my chat. If you would, put your name and your business, in the chat. I want to know who you are and also see how we can make sure that our chat is open and working on tonight. All right. Also, of course, only unmute when called upon, guys. I want to make sure that we can get through. Of course, we're going to have a monologue at first, and then we're going to jump into some serious dialogue on tonight that I believe is going to help you shift your life. So if you're ready, buckle your seatbelts. I believe tonight is going to be a game changer for all those that are watching now or later. All right, real quick, let's jump into this week's wins. I know you guys got some wins. I think the hardest thing is realizing that even though we have some challenging things that happen, you have done something really good this week. So if you would, I want you guys to open up my chat. I want to hear from the chat. I want you to open up your, unmute yourself and give me this week's win. I love to hear it, love to hear it, love to hear it. I'm going to start off tonight only because I got a really great win. I've been working on a case, guys, for the last probably month and a half. And it's been an interesting case, just ups and downs, hills and valleys. But it all paid off when I saw that check hit for about $35,000 this morning. So, guys, I'm here to tell you, it all works out. You got to keep going and moving forward to where now you can start making in one day what it takes some people all year to make. And I'm not bragging, because remember what I say, guys, it's not bragging if it's true. But I need to set the bar for you guys to where you realize that people are making, trust me. That might be a bigger number, but normally, you're still catapulting and making those 3, 4, 5,000 a day. So those are days that you want to make sure. But when you get something special, you always want to make that out there. And I want you guys to know that is happening. It's happening in this group, and it's happening from your mentor, who I must lead the way. Some mentors are out there talking a whole lot of talk, but I'm actually giving you results that I'm actually having myself. All right. So real quick, I want to hear your wins. Do me a favor. Don't minimize your win because of my big win. A win is a win is a win is a win. All right. So real quick, let me hear some wins on tonight. What you got?
Good evening, everyone. It's Sharia, Manny Girls by Sharia.
Hey, Sharia.
I have actually two big wins, business and personal.
All
I
right.
gained a client and I'm seeing success out of one of my clients that is really pushing off in his barbecue business. And I am really excited about that because this person was a drug dealer and
Wow.
he don't even want to sell drugs anymore. He has like his light has come on and I'm grateful for that. And my second biggest win is personal is my cousin. He has been inspired by my life to take control of his mental health and to look within and to find God. And he's coming to church with me Sunday. So I'm very excited about that connection.
Man, that is huge. I mean, huge. You know what? You might as well go and clap that up, those that can. That's a huge win. Great job on both sides. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. That's good stuff right there. I love it. All right, come on. Somebody else give me another good win on tonight. Give me a good win. What'd you do this week? All right, I'll wait. And you got to think real hard.
I could jump in there.
Jump in there.
So one of them got a new training client this week.
Beautiful.
And then let's see, what's another one? Oh, I had a scheduled a meeting this week, or like a meeting, like a initial meeting with a buyer. It's a buyer who ain't ready yet, but you know what I'm saying, it's future business.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So it sounds like you got the wheels turning, and as long as you keep them turning, just like I just mentioned about my thing. And the funny thing is, I forgot to mention with mine is I've known and had this client for 15 years. So that tells you how long it's taken to make and build this relationship to where it worked out the way it did. But nevertheless, great job, great job, great job. Keep on winning, guys. Keep on going forward. Those small wins turn to big wins, but you got to keep on moving forward. So great job, Deshaun. Great job, buddy. That's what we do. That's how you get it down. All right, guys, let's special offers. You know, we got special offers, man. We always got something we out here doing. First one is, if you guys have not got my book yet, I just want to know, what are you doing with your life? Okay, 10 steps to take your business from zero to new business in 30 days. All those 10 steps are there. There are steps that you can use or do and be a blessing to somebody else. Put it out there. I'm trying to really promote this to let people know that it's not as hard as they think to get their business off the ground. I'm excited. Of course, my first ebook. My second book is coming up pretty soon, before the end of the second quarter. And so with that being said, guys, definitely special price just for you guys. Right now I'm selling on my website for $29.99, but for my results-driven group, it is $19.99. So if you have not gotten it, get it for yourself, get it for a friend, get it for a family member, and that way you can have that to put in your arsenal. All right. Matter of fact, we had a couple other people that are getting their first ebook written. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. All right, guys, so get yours done. All right, events. We got a big event coming up. Matter of fact, we had a young man, Troy, jump on and say he's actually coming. He's bringing a couple guys with him. So I'm excited about Troy jumping in, being a part of this great event. And guys, we are honored tonight to actually get the originator, the OG, that's going to actually speak to us a little bit about how and what's going to be going on up at this retreat. Here's something that I want you guys to know. You have to start getting to the point where you recognize that who you are is going to help you get to where you're going. But if the who you are now does not adjust or focus or get yourself right for the next level, you're going to be in trouble. There's an old saying that says that what's that saying? If the footmen wearied you, what you going to do when the horses and the chariots appear? In other words, I want to get you mentally ready for some big things that are going to happen in your life this year. Matter of fact, I'm expecting you guys to get bigger. I'm talking like humongous within this next quarter, because I'm going to be hitting you, and we're going to start our theme on next week, which is living your best life ever. And I want to get you to the point to where you're living your best life ever through your business, your work ethic, and we're going to be hammering that on next week. But real quick, I want to bring on the screen the originator of Healing Zone, which this guy blew my mind. Came to my office. He said, man, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. Next thing I know, he had me this whole thing. And it ended up being something that changed my life because through meditation, through taking time to focus on me and who I am, he helped me to get to where I'm at today, just kicking it to the next level. So at this time, guys, if you would, I want you to give some love for my guy, my mellow, my fellow, the guy that tries to beat me up every Friday in racquetball. I don't even like him that much on Fridays. Matter of fact, I could say I really hate him. But anyway, this guy whom I adore and love, my good friend, Chris Hatter. Chris, what's happening, baby?
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell you what, man, I want to give you the spotlight and I want you to help us on tonight as we move into our lesson for this week, which is wellness check. All right, sir, floor is yours.
Okay. So again, thank you for this opportunity. Pastor Williams, that's my man. Like he said, every Friday night, we are in there and we are beating each other up, playing racquetball. I must tell you, when you are chasing that ball, all of your problems go away. You have no more problems when you're chasing that ball. So that is my man 100 grand. So again, my name is Chris Hatter. I'm the creator and the inventor of the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program. This program helps people who have pain, fear, stress, and anxiety, help you to decrease and lower it without, we say WSE, me and my team, we say WSE without side effects. And so this program has been accepted at 2 major hospitals here in Las Vegas. We're definitely looking to expand. But one of the things that we started working on was mental wellness, figuring out how important your mental wellness is. So this was probably a few years ago. Me and Pastor Ron were playing racquetball one Friday night, and he said to me, he said, Chris, he was like, Chris, you're the ox. He goes, you're the ox, meaning like you have to take care of yourself. Like if from the Bible days, if the ox didn't tread whatever it was, the ground, nothing got done. So he said, make sure that you always take care of the ox. And from that moment on, it changed my life. And there's only a few things that I'm good at. And one of them is taking care of myself and being able to prioritize my mental wellness. So as we do the program, this is our first event. We're very excited about it. Me and my team are very excited about it. And so it's going to be up at Mount Charleston. And also, please, somebody remind me, I actually have 2 special offers tonight. So if I forget, please, somebody remind me about the special offers because you're on this call here. But we're going to be talking about your mental wellness. As Pastor said, how important your mental wellness is. Your mental wellness is so important. Again, I think mental wellness, we really forget about it. And we really don't really think about our mental wellness, but it is very important. It's going to be at Mount Charleston. We're looking to have a good time. We're looking to fill up the room. And we're just looking to again, help you prioritize your mental wellness. It's so important. So again, as far as mental wellness is concerned, usually it's not a priority. And so we want to make it a priority. If it's possible, we want to make it a priority for you. And I say this, God can't even make your mental wellness your priority. There's only one person in the whole world that can make your mental wellness your priority, your mental wellness, not your family, not your mama, not your husband or your wife or your spouse. There's only one person that can make your mental wellness a priority, and that is you. And if you don't make it a priority, nobody else will, right? God can push you once you have made that choice, but only you can make that choice about the mental wellness. Again, this is a one-day mental wellness retreat. But one of the things that we want to teach you in this retreat is we want you to gain your MWR, which is your mental wellness routine. And so we're going to talk about that at the retreat so that your mental wellness, again, becomes a priority in your life. one of the things I like to say is I would love for it to make it up into your top 10, if possible, your top 5, and if not, your number 1, your mental wellness. Very important, the things that you do every day that contribute to your mental wellness. The other thing that we want to do is we want to make your mental wellness, we want to take the stigma off of mental wellness, right? There's still a stigma, still a little bit of a stigma when somebody says they're having some mental wellness issues. Sometimes people kind of look at you kind of, they're really not sure about you. So we want to take the stigma off of the mental wellness, take the shame off of the mental wellness, so that everybody has mental wellness issues. We've all had them. They're there. It's a normal part of life. And as we talk about it more and we take the shame off of it more and we give more attention to it, then it won't be such a stigma, right? Again, there's still just a tiny bit of a stigma when somebody says they're having some mental wellness issues. Again, we all have them. We've all had them in the past. And so we just want to take those things off of it. The other thing that we're going to be talking about one of the things that I say about your mental wellness is this. This is the example that I came up with. We want your mental wellness should help you thrive. What we want to do is we want to include mental wellness with thriving. We want those two things to go together. So anytime you think of your mental wellness, we want you to think of thriving. And so the example that I came up with is if a woman who just given childbirth, if a mother who's just given childbirth, if she has a little bit, let's say she has a little bit of postpartum depression, just a tiny bit. I'm not talking about the ones where the mothers want to harm their children, but I'm just talking about just a tiny bit of postpartum depression. That, as she's the primary caregiver, that baby will be in survival mode. That baby will survive, right? So she's just given birth. She's not quite herself. The baby will survive, right? As long as the baby's being fed and everything normal, the husband and the mother and everybody's help, the baby will be fine. But in order for that baby to thrive, his mother has to be in the right place. Once she comes back in the right place, then the baby will thrive. And so all of your priorities in your life, or if your life is not thriving, it's because your mental wellness is not in the right place. We need your mental wellness to be a number 1 priority, and we need your mental wellness to help your life to thrive again. Again, if you list your top 10 priorities and you look at those priorities and they're not thriving, that's because your mental wellness is not in the right place. And so we're going to focus on that in the retreat. I'm going to talk about your mental wellness again, being able to talk about that mental wellness routine that we want you to develop. The other thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about anxiety, right? Lots of people have anxiety. So with anxiety, usually when you hear anxiety and you hear depression, often they're pitched together, right? So you've heard me talk before. So what happens with your mind is like a pendulum. So your mind swings back and forth all day long, right? Depression is when your pendulum swings and it gets stuck in the past. That's where the depression comes from. The pendulum swings and it gets stuck in the past and it can't move. Everything you do is about the past. Everything is past. Anxiety is when the pendulum swings back to the future, but it gets stuck in the future. It doesn't move forward. It doesn't come back. There's a normal swing to our life as we're thinking. Again, we always want to be in this moment right here, right? We want to be here at this time, but your anxiety is being stuck in the future. You're worried about something in the future and it doesn't come back, and you're always thinking about the future. And as we were going through the pandemic, and they kept talking about mental wellness, how so many people are having trouble with mental wellness. And I'm like, am I missing something? Like what is going on? But I didn't realize when they talk about mental wellness, they're talking about anxiety. So most of the time when you hear it on the news, they're actually talking about people who have anxiety. Somebody's worried about the future, or they're worried about something that hasn't even happened yet. They're worried they're crossing a bridge. They will always say, cross the bridge when you come to it. But you've crossing the bridge in your mind and you haven't even come to it. And most of the time, when we have anxiety, our mind is using the worst case scenario. That worst case, the worst thing in the world is going to happen. I'm going to be homeless. My business is not going to do anything. This is going to happen. So that's all the anxiety. And there are so many different ways to get rid of your anxiety that it's very ridiculous. Again, some people are diagnosed with anxiety. There are so many different anxieties that you can have, and some people are actually diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, right? So I just read a study recently that talked about anxiety, and they were saying that the study said that the meditation does just as well as meds. When people are on meds for their anxiety, they came up exactly the same. So meditation did the same thing that when you take meds for your anxiety, they both actually did the same thing, right? One, as far as the meds is concerned, you got to be careful because you can get hooked. And meditation is free. You can do it without any side effects. There are no side effects. That's what we say, WSE, no side effects with meditation. So now imagine being able to have some meds and meditation together. Imagine what that can do for your anxiety. Or if you put some exercise in there, now imagine what that can do for your anxiety. So there are many different things that you can do for your anxiety, which with the Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation Program, we focus on anxiety to help you get rid of give you some tools, some techniques to help you get rid of your anxiety. And so I was working with a patient one day, and she said, Chris, I like almost have an anxiety attack. She had just had a stroke, but she said, Chris, every day since I've been here in rehab, my anxiety kicks up at about 5 p.m. I'm like, okay, like why 5? Like what in your life if She goes, well, before I had my stroke, I got off around 5 and I was fighting the traffic trying to get home. She goes, well, maybe that thing was the thing that was causing me to have the anxiety. And I said, okay. So I said, this is what you do. I want you to try this meditation right before 5 and then try something after 5. And so she was like, okay. So I didn't see her for a couple of days. And then I came back and she was so excited. She was like, Chris. She goes, Chris. I said, yeah. She goes, my anxiety. She goes, it just went away. I said, it did. She was like, yeah, it just went away. And she done something before the anxiety kicked up. And then that allowed her not to have the anxiety at 5 p.m. And she was so excited about it. She was just like, it just went away. It just went away. I'm like, well, good. I'm glad that it went away for you. So there are so many different things that you can do for your anxiety, especially as you bring in awareness to kind of what I always tell my people. I say, you have to bring in awareness to your life. What things are the things that trigger you? If there's something that triggers you, then now you have a control. You can do something before that trigger comes, and then you can do something after. So there's hundreds of techniques that you can do to get rid of anxiety. And then the other thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about sleep at the retreat. We're going to talk about sleep. So I don't know, this was a couple of years ago, and the Lord came to me, the Holy Spirit came to me. He was like, you need to get a certification in sleep. And I'm like for what? For what? And he just kept urging me. And I'm like, what? Sleep? Like, at the time I'm being naive. He's like, yeah, sleep. And I'm like, okay, I'll get one, but for what? Like, I didn't know. I had no idea that people had trouble sleeping. I don't know. So you just go upstairs and go to sleep. So I was talking to my mom, and she goes, Chris, there's nobody I know get any good sleep. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, I don't know anybody that gets good sleep. And it just, you know how somebody said something and the light bulb finally came on to me. So I started doing some research on it, and I had no idea that this many people had I just didn't know. I just said, who can you just go upstairs and go to sleep? And like, no, it is not that easy. So as I got my little certification, I started to understand, wow, so many people have trouble with sleep. And like I said, there are not many things that I'm an expert at, but since I've gotten this certification, sleep is one of them. I didn't even know I am a great sleeper. Oh my goodness, I get my sleep on and I'm not playing about my sleep. So I have some tools and some techniques that's going to be able to help you get better sleep, some sleep hygiene things that we're going to talk about. Some sleep hygiene things that we're going to talk about if you're having trouble sleeping. So those are the three things. And what I want to do now is I want to leave it open for some questions that anybody has for those three subjects: mental wellness, anxiety, or sleep. And however, Pastor Ron, however you do it, buddy.
Man, I tell you what, I want to know, because this is what we do now, we call our open discussion. I know some of these things are pretty heavy. And I mean, I put some wording inside the chat. And actually, I even put some questions kind of in the chat. And maybe you can deal with some of this. And let me tell you guys how Chris has helped me. I was, as a Christian man, I was always taught meditation was evil. And so that's kind of one of those things to where I kind of was like, dude, man, that's some hell stuff right there, man. Nah, man, folk be moving, I ain't trying to do all that, work all those things out. And it was really an amazing thing, because when you shift it, and the way he shifted it for me was just take away the word meditation and put the word in get somewhere and get quiet. And I think once I learned how to get somewhere and get quiet, it began now to settle my heart, settle my spirit, settle my mind, get me to the place to where now I could actually focus on what I was trying to do. And so that's something, and I think that's something huge for us to realize, that is not something that's evil, but then also to some of you that want to go biblical, remember everything and anything that was made for the saints. And so the world can take anything and everything that's made and make it evil. And before you know it, it's just like money. You know, you can hear some people say money is the root of all evil, but yet they're still collecting tithes. So my question is, okay, you can't say one thing and then do another thing. So with that being said, it's kind of one of those things that's helped me personally to look at it from another perspective, because also as you go to the Bible, it talks about meditating on the word of God, meditating early in the morning. So it lets us know that it's something that's a part of what we do, but this is not just about meditation, guys. This is about your whole mental wellness and finding ways, because I don't know if you guys really deal with this, but some people I'm dealing with, it's crazy. Well, think about this. Let me say another way. Crazy people don't know they're crazy. People that are having issues don't even see that they're having issues. Someone else that loves them enough has to tell them in a way that they can receive it, because there are a lot of things that we won't just openly talk about. You know what I mean? So real quick, I did throw a couple questions in here, and one of the questions I put in there is, how is your mental wellness on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being top notch? So Chris, how would you explain that away? Because you asked me a lot of those questions, which sometimes I was like, man, stop asking me that question. But anyway, he'd be asking me, man, how's your mental wellness on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm like, look, man, I'm about to be a 10 once I sock you in the eye. I'm asking you all these doggone questions. But Chris, why is that important to know what level you're at?
Again, just so you have awareness kind of your life. And again, mental wellness is not something that is a priority. It's not taught. Usually physical wellness is taught, but not the mental wellness is taught. So if you know where you are, then now you can build on that MWR, that mental wellness routine, to get you to where you need to be. So if you haven't even thought about your mental wellness, you kind of know where you are. And the other example is lots of times we're going through life and then life come and hits us, maybe like a divorce or maybe like a bankruptcy or loss of a job. And 10 years later, 5 years later, you still haven't recovered from it. And that's because your mental wellness is not, it wasn't a priority. And now it's really not where it's supposed to be, as that thing comes and hits you and knocks you down. And you're like, that divorce was a decade ago, and I still have not recovered. Like what am I missing? Or that bankruptcy was a decade ago, and I'm still struggling. And I believe that it has to do with the fact that your mental wellness is not your priority. Again, I believe I want to associate mental wellness with thriving. I want people to understand we're all in survival mode, or we went into survival mode because of the pandemic and even before that. But in order for your life to thrive, we need you to get your mental wellness where it needs to be.
Wow. So now here's a question for you, Chris. How do you deal with people when it comes to, I've gotten this question before, how do you get yourself in a mental wellness state, or what does that do, or how is there different ways to do it to get yourself to a place of calm, to get rid of the anxiety, get some sleep? How does that look? What does that look like?
So the first thing, as we talked about, the first thing that you need to do with your mental wellness is it has to be a priority. Like it has to be. And again, I saw one of your 1 minute little takes where you were saying taking care of yourself, it's not selfish. So for whatever reason, I'm not sure, for whatever reason, we think when we do anything for ourselves, that's selfish. And again, the same thing is, how can you give from an empty tank? How can you give from an empty cup? Many people who are dealing with burnout and exhaustion, that's the reason, is because their cup is empty and they're still giving. They're still giving to their family. They're still giving to their job. They're still giving to you're still giving, but your cup is empty. So you have to do something that pours back into your cup. And whatever that may be, usually starts early in the morning, whether it be with meditation or prayer first thing, being able to get out in front of your day. And there are hundreds of things that you can do for your mental wellness, but anything that you do that feels like it's filling you back up, you need to do it on a consistent basis, often basis, everyday basis, if you can.
Wow, and that's really important that you kept saying that to me the other day. We actually went through this list, and you said, "Man, well, why is it mental wellness number one?" And the funny thing is, we think it is, but is it really? I mean, I just put a question in the chat real quick, and I want you guys to answer: is do you feel bad when you choose you over everyone else?
Ooh,
Now,
great
before you do
question.
that, though, I want you to think about this, because when it comes to your health, have you chosen your health over everybody else's health? When it comes to your money, have you chose your money over everybody else's money? When it comes to you getting up in the middle of the night and going to help folk, have you chose you getting some sleep to go to work the next day, or did you jump at the emergency? I mean, I want you to think about it, because sometimes it sounds good when I talk to people, oh, now choose me. Oh, really? Well, if you choose you, then why are you not where you want to be? Maybe sometimes you chose other people over you low key and didn't realize that you were, it's almost like giving somebody some money when you know that they spend money. Instead of choosing your money over their money, you give them money. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, if you ain't got fun, if you don't got at least, and I keep telling you guys, if you ain't got at least $10,000 in your savings account, I won't know what you're doing with your life. That means you should have no time for nobody else until you chase that down and make sure that, you know what, I can't even have benevolence fund until I'm good. And once I'm good, then I can be benevolent. And I know some of you are like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about this tonight. I want to talk about my business. I want to talk about how to set them up. I want some 1, 2, 3 steps. I got that. Matter of fact, get the book. The book's got 10 steps. But anyway, so when you're doing this stuff, do you feel bad? when you choose yourself over everyone else? And I'm making ask this question, Chris, and I'm gonna actually open this up to the other people, and you can chime in, please, because just the other day, I had a decision to make. Do I choose to go to the gym, or do I choose to get in the office and try to get some work done early? And I literally had to make a conscious decision and said it out loud. I choose me. And I went to the gym. So it wasn't something that was embedded in me. It was something that I had to tell myself and remind myself that I'm more important than the work. But a lot of times we put the work before we put ourselves. We put the business before we put ourselves. We put our family before we put ourselves. We put our kids before we put ourselves. It gets to a point to where if you're not careful, everyone else can interrupt your day, which means interrupt your business. And this is important because a lot of you guys, the reason you can't stay focused is because you got too many distractions. So real quick, I'm jumping ahead. Sharia, you look like you are just like, you're all in tune to this. I know this is your thing. This is your thing, that mental wellness stuff. But do you feel bad when you choose you over everyone else?
Thank you for asking me, Coach. Absolutely, I feel bad for choosing myself. You know, I preach self-care is not selfish, but it's like that other mind that's like, what is that good to be selfish? You know, wrestling with that, you know, is that a good space for me to be selfish? You know, do people benefit when I'm being selfish? But it's like people don't benefit if I'm not filled, if I'm not healed. Things are not gonna move. I had a lot of, I like how you guys put to rate yourself, you know, on a scale from 1 to 10. I'm gonna start doing that every day because you know, that's a good question to ask yourself on a day, you know, what does my mental health look like for that day? Because I used to be a pushover, you know, I used to be where I grew up with 6 brothers and sisters where they had a lot of anxiety, depression at a young age, would do emotional behaviors for attention. You know, I seen those behaviors young, and looking within and looking at myself, you know, I notice how I have adapted through things that has not been okay. And you know, you learn how to recognize those points in your life, and you know, you start realizing what do I look like in a situation, and how do I continue to look within to move forward, you know, and that's something that, especially as a woman, a business owner, you know, you have a family, you have your outside life, you have your community, you know, and we have to set boundaries. And when there's not boundaries, I could really see how anxiety and depression could really affect your life and affect your goals of you moving forward, especially how Mr. Hatter explained how anxiety is when you're always in the past. You know, that was a big light bulb tonight, because I thought of, you know, the guy that, you know, I used to be the quarterback in football. Well, you know, you ain't been in high school in 4 decades and you still talking about, you know, what you did in high school. Or, you know, the depression where he say you're stuck in the future. Maybe you have a dream like, you know, I'm gonna be a rapper, but you know, you ain't gonna never be no rapper, you know? So I totally get it. And I like that. But we're going to continue to live by self-care is not selfish. You know, it's okay to put myself first, because if I don't, how is everybody going to benefit from my fruit?
Wow, that's good. Chris, I'll let you respond.
Yes. Again, it's your mental wellness and your priority. Nobody is going to put that first. I'm not sure who made the rule up that putting yourself is selfish. I'm not sure where we got that from. I'm not sure who made that rule up or who organized that rule, but you need to take that rule and throw that into file 13. You know what I mean? You need to be number one. It's very difficult. I do understand it's very difficult, but but you have to be number one. You have to be okay. You have to put yourself first. Nobody else will. Nobody else will. Like I said, not even God can make that decision for you. You have to make that decision. You have to say, I'm number one. My mental wellness is number one. How am I doing? And you have to be able to take care of that. Nobody can take care of that better than you, not even your spouse. And that's what I learned from Pastor Ron. He's like, Chris, you know what you want, you know what you like, give it to yourself. And so, listen, I'm very good at it. I'm very good at it. So,
wow, that's good. That's good. Coming from a single parent, well, not single, well, yeah, single parent. Dominique, I mean, how do you, or do you feel bad when you choose you over everyone else? Or how does that work for you having such young kids?
Well, now it's different for me. Before, I used to, everything was about my kids. Whatever my kids needed, I dropped everything. It was about my kids. It didn't matter to me as my kids. I had to make sure my kids were good first. After having my son, I went through the postpartum depression that he was talking about. I dealt with that for maybe a little over a year. And after that, I realized that I wasn't okay. My kids weren't okay. So I had to shift and I had to flip that. So I had to make sure that I was okay mentally, physically. I had to make sure that I was intentional about me. Once I did that, I realized that my entire house shifted. I woke up happy. My kids woke up happy. My kids are, they are okay because I'm okay, not the other way around. So it was just a shift in mindset.
Wow, I'm sorry, just to jump in, man, that right there is powerful. You just said something that to me is, that blows anything, boom, any single mom that's listening, man. If you're okay, your kids are okay. How about your kids being okay, then you're okay. It's exactly what you just said, Dom. You don't even know it, but to me personally, you dropped a bombshell. And realizing that most single moms, they would sacrifice the body to take care of their kids, or even married moms, not say single parent moms are any different, but just I believe a lot more special to me, single parent moms and dads, because of the work they have to do as one person versus when you got two people, it sometimes makes it easier. But Chris, what do you say? I mean, wow, that's a bombshell to me.
Yeah, totally. I would tell her that she needs to teach a class on it, but I just don't want her to take my clients. You know what I mean? I don't want her to tell her to take my client. That class needs to be taught. That needs to be every mother, whether you're a single mother, whether you have a husband at home, all of that needs to be taught. You have to be number one. You have to be number one. And if you're number one, just like she said, then your kids will be okay. And like I said before, even with your family, even with your priorities, they're kind of in survival mode. They'll be okay. If you're not okay, they'll kind of, but you're really going to see them thrive is when you're thriving. When you put your mental health number one, that's when you really start to see your kids start to thrive and that baby start to thrive. So very excellent point there.
Yeah, coach, I'm a coach to coaches. So, I'm okay with my coaches doing their thing. I come steal my stuff all day long. Just give me my props. That's all I'm saying. Just give me props. That's all I'm saying. Take all the material. just show me some love. Just say, hey, my coach taught me ... Just give me some love.
I love it.
Good stuff, Dominic. Good stuff, Dom. Robbie, I know you're rolling, but how is this resonating for you tonight? Do you feel bad when you choose you over everyone else? And how does that affect you?
I think I used to feel bad. I used to feel really bad because I thought I had to save everybody and be there for everybody because, I thought me showing my loyalty, made it be like, well, Robbie's there for everybody. Robbie can do everything. But I don't feel bad anymore. I'm learning. I have learned that I'm just as important as everything and everybody else. You know what I mean? So I have learned to put myself first. even when it comes to my kids, which is not always easy. But everybody's emergency is no longer my emergency.
Wow. Now, how did that light bulb come on, or when did that come on? There had to be a moment that something just.
I just noticed my burnout. I was so burnt out. Like you saying, filling everybody else up, nobody there to fill myself up, which in a sense was my responsibility, but just drained, exhausted. I had a couple of anxiety attacks a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And it was like, well, now hold on a second. Let's see what's going on. So I think just like you said, just a little light bulb, just like I have to be more important than I have to make myself priority number one.
Chris, what do you think, man? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I want to say what's up to my young grasshopper there. Yeah, she everything everything we say, everything we tell her, she takes it and she runs with it. But it is very true. Lots of times those things happen and you realize that there's nobody there for you. And then the other thing that you have to realize is if you're gone, all the people that are taking from you, when you're gone, they're just gonna move on to the next person.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they're just gonna move on to that next post. So you have to take care of yourself. And I always tell my patients, it's very difficult. I know it is, but no is a full sentence. No is a full
Write that down.
sentence. Yeah, put a no with an exclamation point. Lots of times there's a no, and then we put an excuse afterwards. Can you do no? And then you'll see them waiting. Why can't I don't have no, I can't, I'm sorry, no, I cannot. Like if it doesn't align with your goals and it's not, it's not moving forward with your mental wellness and the things that you're trying to accomplish, and it doesn't line up with your day or your week, no, and just leave it at that with a period behind it. See you later. There's no explanation. They're not paying your bills, so there's nothing you have to explain. No. No.
Oh now, guys, I had to write that down myself. That's a whole nother boom. Hey, I told y'all bombshells are gonna be dropped on tonight, man. My God, he said no is a complete sentence. You mean I have to explain myself? I'm gonna lie. Well, I don't really have it right now. You got it. Told y'all there's gonna be some bombshells tonight. Oh my God. Tiffany. I don't know if you're working, doing what you do, but I'm glad you're on tonight. Do you feel bad you choose you over everyone else? Where are you at? Uh-oh, she might be working.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. Deshauna, I know you might be at one of the baseball games.
Oh, we're free and clear tonight. Practice was canceled.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, I feel bad, especially when it's not a hardship to offer, to give, to take care of, to support, and to help. But there was a philosophy I lived by in my younger years that showed up in the month of April 2023. And I thank God for the shift. And that philosophy was, I'm only required to talk to those that I have a legal contract with. Everyone else is an option. And so while I'm still working on my no, I don't even have to respond to your request. There's no legal obligation requiring me to answer your question. And what I'm finding is that in that space of not responding, more truth is being revealed. Balance is showing up. The reality or the real story is coming to my mind. And I'm finding peace with just not responding. I don't have to. So you can request what you want. I don't have to respond. So welcome to the new. I should say, no, welcome to the new. That's it happened.
Good Lord. There's explosions going on in the Zoom tonight. Dominic said, like that, Miss Moore. You know, we had to put some Miss Moore, some stank on your name.
What's the respect for my name?
I told y'all, boom, bombshells tonight.
Awesome.
Wow. Mr. Hatter, what are you thinking, man?
I listen, man, I've never heard it like that. She said, I don't have a legal obligation.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a new one on me. Mom, you just taught me something. I never thought about it like that. But absolutely, that is your no. And believe it or not, they're not responding. That's almost like when you type no with the big letters and people know you're shouting at them. That non-response is almost like a no, or like, right now you are not important. At this moment, I am important. And so please don't feel bad about it, but I've never heard I don't have a legal obligation, but that is fantastic. I love it. And I think I'm probably going to use that.
Well, you know, Delshana, man, I am Delshana Moore. She's the one. So, Delshana, while we got you, I saw that you had put some posts up about dealing with and coming through divorce. And this is actually kind of a part of your mental wellness itself. So, what made you start really diving in a little bit on that? What was your thought behind that?
A couple things. One, I wanted to kind of send some messaging out about the new book that's coming out. Pre-sales are up now, only 99 cents on Kindle. And then the book itself will be released in May. And it's a collaborative effort of different women and men who have testimony and how God kind of changed and turned things around in their life. The book is called Broken Chapters. And I wrote about my life going through the divorce and from divorce to I do. When my I do didn't, and then it did, right? And so that fell on me. And the other thing is there's a conference this weekend called Woman Be Made Whole. And after, everything was said and done and flyers went out, I was sharing my story of divorce, and I was asked to come in and speak about that specific topic. And so I'm on agenda Saturday morning to also talk about overcoming. And I was divorced. I was in, oh my God, so long ago. I didn't realize the impact that my testimony would have on others. To me, it wasn't a big deal because I'm still moving, right? I'm still living my life. That doesn't hold me back. That doesn't hinder me. No problems. I remember when, but I'm still growing and going. But I didn't realize how many people aren't. And so I just thank God for that being the topic of the book, that being the area I'll talk about at the conference on Saturday. And that's just causing me to post stuff like, hey, I wonder, if you're hurting here, what's going on? I remember this craziness that I had, almost gave up everything, almost lost, there was poverty there, all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of where the pressure is coming from with those posts.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I tell you what, it's a hard thing, man. Once again, it goes back to, man, you can be, and it almost goes to abandonment issues. I mean, so many issues can come from that. Was that rejection? I mean, there's so many things that can come that can really slow a person down just from those incidents. And man, Chris, you said it best. People are dealing with stuff that happened to them 10, 15 years ago. I mean, and sometimes the people that even did it to them, they dead. And they still are dealing with the issues that lie within that. So it's like, wow, that's heavy. That is deep. That is crazy. Tiffany, I see you're on with us. Did you hear that question? Do you feel bad when you choose you over everyone else? Talk to us, Dr. Tiffany.
At first, I used to feel bad that I chose me. But once my mom passed away, I used to say my peace wasn't optional. But now I say me is not optional because I lost myself in the process of trying to be that safety net, be the person for everyone else. And then I realized I failed myself. So when you finally hit rock bottom, you have to pick yourself up. You realize that you're picking yourself up, but no one's there to say, hey, how you doing? Are you okay today? Because I've gotten a lot of calls that say, you're not here, you don't answer the phone, you don't do this, you don't do that. And I've even got people to tell me that our relationship has served its purpose. And I said, well, I thank you. At first, I used to feel bad about saying thank you, but now I'm like, thank you. Because my peace isn't optional, but I didn't equate my peace to making sure I took care of myself. So now I equate my peace is not optional. Not taking care of myself is definitely not optional. So now they're equal. So now my mind, my heart, and my spirit is all equal with my peace and taking care of myself. So no, it's definitely a sentence, and I use it. I use it better now.
Chris, I'll let you chime in, baby.
Great answer, great question, by the way, Pastor Ron, but great answer. Again, the big thing is and then as we talk about it more, but for sure, we need you to put it in practice more. Put it in practice. You are your number one priority. Again, nobody, not even God himself, can get you to choose you as number one. And again, as you choose your mental wellness, your life will start to thrive. And those are the two things that we want to put together: your mental wellness and thriving. So if you want your life to thrive, put your mental wellness first, and watch what happens. Great answer.
Wow. And we're going to go and wrap. I know my time, wow, we're a minute over. Chris, thank you so much for coming, man. I did drop something in the chat. Last thing, guys, which, and I know this is something that some of you are going to struggle with, but you know me, I want to get you to that next level. You'll note that he said your wellness is you said your prosperity, or how'd you say, Chris? Your wellness is your thriving.
Yes, you have to equate mental wellness with thriving. Those two words go together.
And so I think it's important, because once we're good, then we can do our business better. I put in the chat, no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. Keep moving forward. From a biblical standpoint, Jesus Christ already came. So we already have a savior. That means that pretty much now we have to look at, if he's already come, he's coming back, and he left us the Holy Ghost, if I can go spiritual just 1 second, then that means that now no one else is coming to save you. There was only one savior. And so now, with that being said, that means that now you have to choose to know that you have everything you need. Now it's a matter of tapping in and becoming what you should be and could be, but you got to get you together, get your mental together. I promise your business will blow up once you come to a place of stability, tranquility, and peace. And sleep, my God, I used to tell Chris, man, I couldn't sleep worth a lick. Now, I'd be beating up my feet to get to my bed. Now I sleep real good, good. But it's changed everything, because now I'm more clear, I'm aware, I'm clicking on all cylinders, and it makes a huge difference. So I know some of you guys, I used to say I only need about 4 hours sleep. Now, shoot, I need at least 6 to 7 hours sleep, if not more. Matter of fact, I'd be wanting to get more. So I know that some of this stuff is new and foreign to some of you, only because you're so used. And unfortunately, we were taught growing up to try to, I know for me, growing up in a house where we took care of everybody named mama, it was a revolving door. And I saw that happen, and it was a great thing. I'm so blessed that my mother and my father were such givers, but only, unfortunately, it was to their own detriment, which is something that we have to face too, because you can give and sow and give and give and give and give, and you're the one that's not you're left unfulfilled. There are pastors, there are leaders, there are CEOs committing suicide because they're not good. But they're taking care of doing all this for all the people. So I want to be aware of that. I want to make sure I keep me a priority, because when I'm a priority, then I can help more people. And I know I'm sent to help millions. And when you're helping send millions, you got to be good to go. All right, guys. So Chris, you were going to hit us with a little special or a little something for my people.
Okay, yeah, because you're on the call tonight. So on the 29th, we're going to have the 1-day mental wellness retreat. It's only $29.99, but because you're on the call tonight, we'll definitely do a 2-for-1. So if you want to bring somebody, we would love for you to. The seats are filling up fast. We're going to have a fantastic time in Mount Charleston. Me and my business partner drove up to Mount Charleston. It's going to be at the Mount Charleston Library. We drove up there. Just to drive up there, your stress and your anxiety goes down. Just the drive up there, that goes down. So also, because you're on this call tonight, I think, Ron, on your website, I have the offer of 3 sessions for $159. It's going to be a little bit higher at the retreat, but because you guys are on this special tonight, we'll have the $159 for your mental wellness, for your anxiety, and for your sleep for each one. I know sometimes you're like, well, my mental wellness is good, but my sleep is not. So we got a special offer, $159 for either one of those 3 classes, for 3 classes that's actually on Pastor Ron's website. When we go up to the retreat, it's only actually going to be a little bit higher. But because you guys are on this call tonight, getting your mental wellness, getting your anxiety, and getting your sleep, either one of those is $159. And I would love to teach you guys and really get you moving in the direction of either one of those subjects that we're going to cover at the retreat.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's huge. That's big ups. Thank you so much, Chris, and I appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
This is my guy. And guys, let me throw this in there while I can. It's great to have people around you that allow you to just be yourself. And Chris allows me to be my competitive self and step on that court and become just about that ball and about whooping his butt. And that's it. Ain't no praying, ain't no speaking in tongues, ain't none of that. I come to win.
Speaking in tongues.
So thank you so much, man, for letting me be me and being a good friend to me and knowing that you're going to help my people as you've helped me to get some mental clarity, some mental purpose, and some things that really can adjust and be cool. So thank you so much. You guys do me a favor,
Awesome.
clap it up for my guy, Chris.
Awesome.
My guy. This has been a hot class tonight, man. This class, I don't know about you, but I got some bombshells. And I think those bombshells are crazy. If we just got that in a little setting like this, imagine spending a couple hours of just getting this stuff. So my question to you is, how much do you value your mental wellness? Is it worth a couple hours? Is it worth you stepping out of yourself, taking a drive, bringing a friend, because now he done made an offer, you can bring a friend. So get in the car with your friend, go up to this mountain, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the view, be a part of something that's going to change your life. This second quarter event is huge because, matter of fact, we talked about this and I said, Chris, look, man, the second quarter is coming. Let's get her done, man. Let's get these people motivated to move into what we're trying to do. So guys, I'm telling you, this is going to be something that's going to help you. I'm all about helping you and getting you to the next level, all right? So real quick, guys, I want to dive into the rest of our session, which we are past our time, done with our time. But you know what? Chris is like me, we overdo it. We want to make sure we give you more than what you even think you can get. Of course, this is going to be good. Any questions for me or for Chris before I let him go? I'll take like 2 quick questions. I saw one that's in the chat, Chris, and I know that our time is done, but does our lack of sleep contribute directly to mental health is the question.
Yes, it does. Great question, by the way, but yes, it does. So sleep within itself, it's a new field. It's only about 20 years old. So what they found is that 93% of the people who have mental wellness issues have sleep issues. 93% of the people who have mental wellness issues, who are in mental wellness crisis, have sleep issues. So now the question is it the mental wellness that caused the sleep issues, or is it the lack of sleep that caused the mental wellness issue? So for sure, we believe that your lack of sleep contributes to your mental wellness not being where it's supposed to be. So sleep, again, has to be a priority kind of with the mental wellness. It falls under the same category, but you have to prioritize your sleep. You have to. It's very important. One of the pillars is we think exercise and nutrition, and now they think that third pillar is actually sleep. And that's the pillar that's missing for people getting where they want to get. Exercise and nutrition, and now they think that third pillar is sleep. So if you can kind of combine those things, then everything starts to work and roll in the way that you're just supposed to. But great question.
Wow. Another quick question right behind that is, does lack of sleep also contribute to health issues?
Yes. So you don't want to say too much, but yes, absolutely. So if, for example, if you work at night, they think that that takes 10 years off of your life because your rhythm is not where it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to get the type of sleep that you're not getting what your circadian rhythm is. So people who work nights live 10 years less than people who do the normal night day thing. So absolutely it contributes to it. And I remember this was a few years ago and they were talking about your sleep and diabetes. And I'm like, what does your sleep have to do? Like, where did they come up with that study? But they were saying the people who have lack of sleep, now their incidence of diabetes go up. And now there is a direct link with your sleep or lack of sleep and your diabetes being out of control and not where it's supposed to be. So absolutely, it contributes to the negativity to your health when you don't get the right amount of sleep, for sure. Great question.
Wow. All right, man, we're going to wrap it here.
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait until next Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. It's on my calendar. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring, my goddaughter, I'm going to see if I can get her to come with me. Yes, I'm going to bring somebody, my doggone self, only because when it comes to this, I know so many people that are challenged right now in different areas. And I know that this is going to be the catalyst. If you know anybody dealing with addiction, anybody dealing with different things that they know that they just need to take matter of fact, let's just call it a break. Take time to break. I know you got stuff going on, but here's the key. I just made a statement, and I need you guys to hear the statement that I made. I choose me. In going to this retreat and going to this event on next week, how are you going to choose? Will you choose the people or will you choose yourself? So I'm going to challenge you. Hear me, those that are watching now live and those that are watching me later. I challenge you to choose you. Choose you this next weekend. So we're going to talk about this again next week, just briefly, but I want you to know that you got to choose you. Take some time, bring your spouse. Matter of fact, if anything, bring your spouse. It's always good to me to have these experiences with my wife. And so if you're married, bring your spouse. If you're single and got a significant other, bring them. If you got an older child, what's that age limit there, Chris? Any way to get that age limit that you're thinking?
No. On this one, no age limit. We are working on a mental wellness program for teenagers, but no age limit. As long as they can pay attention and focus, absolutely.
All right. So yeah, so you heard from him. Guys, this is something that I want you to be attentive to. I believe, honestly, hear me, this little break, couple of hours, will catapult your next quarter. Only because now if I get your mind right, we can get your money right. Let me say it again. Let's get your mind right so we can get your money right. All right? How do you pay, Chris? How they gonna pay, man? They gonna hit you up on Zelly, on Cash App? How do they get to you, brother?
Yeah, exactly. Everything that you're doing, we doing. You can go on Eventbrite. We do have it posted on Eventbrite. And but yeah, they can Cash App. All the things that you had in the beginning there, we definitely accept. Just get in touch with me, or you can go on Eventbrite and we'll definitely give you the discount from today and all of whatever else that you want to do, for sure.
Chris, matter of fact, do me a favor before you leave. Give us your social media handle and give us your phone number. That way these guys can reach out to you, and type it in the chat for me real quick. And then we're gonna get out of here, guys. I know this is, guys, ooh-wee. If you don't get on this event, I'm going, you're going to slap yourself when you see your friend come back healed, set free, and made whole, and you out here tripping in these streets. So you got your number out there, and what's your social media?
Yeah, so the social media is just Chris Hatter on Facebook, and then we have a Healing Zone Mindfulness Meditation on the business Facebook, and then we have Healing Zone on Instagram that you can do. I typed the phone number in the chat, 702-419-5234. All you have to do is text me, and like I said, we'll give you the discount. We want you to come up. We want to fill up the room, and we are going to have a very, very fantastic time. Very, very fantastic time. My email address is chris@healingzonemeditation.com. I know that's a lot. I know that's a lot, but it's just chris@healingzonemeditation.com. And you can email me, but you can text me, and whatever way you want to pay, I accept all ways.
We accept your money. So let's get your mind right. We can get your money right, and then we can do some great things the rest of this year. Guys, I got nothing but love for you. I'm so glad you're on. Thanks for hanging out with us on tonight. I'm looking forward to being there. Wait a minute, Chris, you can't be getting my spotlight, man. Let me replace my spotlight.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, dog.
I'm coming to blow up your spot, Chris. I'm coming to the mountain. I'm bringing my best stuff, and I'm looking forward to all of us having a great time. Come, be healed, be made whole. This is not something that's going to be deep and all that, but it's going to be a great opportunity to make it happen. Okay, guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Be great. I'll see you guys real soon next week. Bye.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for being on.